Time flew by. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Uh, and let's see, where am I at? Oh yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm answering three things and chasing a phone at the same time. Uh, you can stay in on. Okay. And Robin, I was on the phone, and let me call you right back, and then we will get rolling along here, or I'll text you right back. So where are we this morning? Let's get to. Noticed I was really impressed with the Swiss franc. Uh, there's the Swiss franc, and I was really impressed with. No prob. There we go. So I was really impressed with the Swiss franc. I can't say enough about that. Let me see. Where is it at? Oh, let's get it up there too. Let's switch that over to. We can leave it down there. Why not? What we'll do is we'll raise that up. And there is the intraday of the two stock indices, and then let's see, what is it? That is the Swiss franc there. Let's refresh that. Let's refresh that. Oh, let's try that again. But I was really impressed is that it really did tell us what the dollar is going to do. Now, why is that not refreshing? Oh, I guess I'll just widen it there. There we go. Like that. Is that right? There we are. And then that's the Swiss. So you can see here the last couple days the Swiss has held on, and it just doesn't let go. In other words, it's showing its strength, not going. It's not exploding. It just won't let go. You know, it just stays that way. And the proof, or the QED, I guess you could say, the proof of that theorem is. Oh, and let me tune in the chat line. I got to get that chat line going here. I'm running in 5 directions here this morning. And the chat line, right there we go. Let's see what the chat line has to say at the same time. And I'm going to show you the proof, and it's fascinating. Hey, Robin, TGIF to you too. I tried to pick you up and drop the other call, and I lost everything, so it was all right. No problem there. Now, the proof in the pudding is, take a look at the euro. The euro rolled over. In other words, we saw it lift up yesterday, and it was doing the opposite of what the Swiss was doing against the dollar, and then sure enough, it rolled over. Now here, as I said, this is like the QED, the proof of the theorem of my theorem of how the Swiss seems to be a really good product to watch the dollar through. And then you go and look at the cable. Oh, there you go. There's my volume. I just heard that. Ooh, there we are. Let me lower that volume. Yeah, there we go. And so you can see here on the cable, or the British pound against the dollar, same situation. It did go into sell, matching up with the Swiss, but the euro was on its own little walkabout. It was still lifting up. And then I guess this morning or last night, let's put it this way, last night they realized, oh, wait a second. We don't want to be long this now. And so next thing you know is it gets rolled over. And so that is a really good proof of what we've been talking about, is the Swiss is a good tool to look at the dollar. Now, obviously, there's always going to be other involvements. We've talked about this. The central banks basically run the whole show at this point, and they don't. They're not going to let go of it. Let's put it that way. So, and there's the fact check spreadsheet. So we got it up there. There we are. And so that's a really good theorem, that the Swiss right now, who knows what it'll be in 6 months, but right now I can say is that the Swiss does a really good job of reflecting where the dollar is going. And and what was really nice is to see the euro. Let's go back to that euro on Chicago Quan here. It was nice to see the euro do this, jump over and roll over like a little puppy dog. It's nice to always watch our math be that accurate. Let me move this over too. Nope, that's not the one. Go like that. And let's go like so. There we are. There we are. And so that's what's really cool, is that it did it. And when I saw that this morning, I was like, oh, cool. Very cool. And I'm really yakking away in math. I'm thinking about presenting something in string theory this year in San Pablo. So I've been really boning up on some stuff that I want to put together. So I'm doing math like 3 hours in the morning, from like 3:30 in the morning to like 6:30 in the morning. But anyway, so I'll try to move away from my math synonyms and stay with the financial ones. But anyway, that's really cool there. So we'll drop the QED stuff and the theorems. All right. There we go. And so there is the product there. Rolled over. All right. Let me move that up to the top now. Then is that right? What's going on here? Oh, I see. Which mouse am I having? Okay, there we are. Move that over like that. There we are. All right. So now let's. Is that like that? There we are. And so let's take a look at the. Where do we go from here? A Turkish lira. Check out the Turkish lira. They're putting some juice into it. I'm going to throw it up on J4X, and at the same time, we'll put it up on the Chicago Quant here. They're really putting some juice into it. Look at that. Woo. Going parabolic. I promise not to use the math thing again. Sorry. Anyway, it's going up. It's rocketing up. And so that's where we are there with the, we went into the buy there, and now look at this. The weekly is actually dancing with the Friday zero line. How exciting that is. And then you can see it here on J4X. Same thing. Some strength kicking in. We've been, where's it? Turkish lira is line 17 there on the fact check spreadsheet. You can see it 4 days in a buy, 10 weeks in a sell. Maybe they're going to do a little bit more. I don't know. The dollar is getting awful strong. And I saw the 10-year yesterday after the webinar was over with and so forth. The 10-year was up to 1.56. There was a bad 7-year auction yesterday. Really freaked out the markets there. But the last I looked, I saw the 10-year trading at 1.4 something now, like 1.48, 1.49. So it's backed off, and so it's calmed down. But yesterday, that was what put the chill, and we can do that on J4X. Let's go over to J4X and check out the bond. Where is that at? Bond, the U.S. bond. It's right in right. There it is. Treasury bond. So there's the, it's been moving down. Remember, traders, when that goes down, that means that the interest rates are rising. Okay. And so then let's jump over to here real quick, and you can see that right there. There's the 10-year. And so there's the 10-year, and we'll just show you right there. Oh, right there. You see how it did this. It knocked it down hard yesterday from that. Let's give it a refresh. And that, like I said, that was a 7-year auction. It just freaked everybody out. I guess they didn't have enough buyers that they were expecting. I don't know. Maybe somebody took off on vacation. God knows. These central banks run everything now. So if, and they're government workers in some way or another, I guess you could say. So what happens is sometimes someone's not paying attention. They don't show up. It's like we've seen that with the Bank of Japan. It's always funny. Like someone goes on vacation and something goes really off course, and they realize that the person that's in charge of paying attention to it is on vacation, and someone forgot to put somebody else in charge to do it. And so they, it's like, oh, geez, we're supposed to be in there buying, 30 million of this every day, and why aren't we buying 30 million of this? Because, whoever is not there. And so here's the 10-year. This is the 30-year right here, and you can see the 30-year is actually trying to do a little bounce in here. If we'd only get a green dot, we could get this baby going. It's the zero line is above, on this daily here, and it hasn't obviously taken out that, and we're in a weekly sell. I don't know why it's not filling out further, but anyway, we're in a weekly sell. I have the line in there representing that, and then so, that's what we're waiting for, is to see, what the central banks are going to do with the interest rates. I guess they're going to. I would assume, they're there to make a world orderly. So I can't imagine them letting these things get out of hand. Yesterday, I was kind of surprised that the stock market didn't come back further, because we talk about that. The stock market has a lot of pressure on it to stay up in value because of the retirements and the pensions and all the other stuff and the insurance companies. And so the central banks don't want those things to fall out of favor. And so, they will find a way to push this market back up again. As I take a sip of my coffee there, I actually think instead of having tea, we're having coffee. So just thought I'd have some coffee this morning because I'm all jazzed up from math. I'm high on math. All right, not meth, math, like A plus B equals C. Math, 1 plus 2 equals 3. All right, now let's jump back over to the currencies. Oh, I wanted to save this too. Let me save this. There we are. It's the 30-year bond. Right there. I might have said it and saved it, but either way, we're going to go back to the currencies there. And there's the Turkish lira taking off, and more than likely because of the strength in the dollar and the interest rates rising. That's got everything cooking on the upside there. So, hey, Middle Age, how you doing? Could you look at JO? I did the next day. You've got me looking at that now. I pay attention to it. I find it fascinating. It moved down that next day after you looked at it, and let's see where it's at right now. And here we go. And that is what is that? That is, why am I having issues seeing what that is? Whatever it is. So that is a SPY. Isn't that amazing? As much as they pressured down the S&P 500 yesterday on the exchange side, the New York Stock Exchange time or the Nasdaq, 9:30 to 4 o'clock Eastern Standard, still in a daily buy by the hair of its chinny chin. Let's take a look at coffee. There it is. So they moved it down. I guess we looked at it here. Then they moved it down there, and in 16 minutes that will be trading live, and we'll have a better flavor for it. So stick around for 17 minutes, and we will. This is yesterday's. It held up. You can see the day quant is trying to roll over from yesterday, but you can see the weekly obviously is doing a very positive thing there, right there, like that. So we'll come back to that in, what is it now? We are at 7:45 a.m. In 16 minutes, it'll be 8 o'clock, and these things will start trading live, and we'll be able to see them, and we'll see where it's at. How's that, Middle Age? A-okay? Easy peasy? So, and we'll leave that up, too. We're not going to get rid of that. We'll just go, we'll be able to flash right back to it. And let's see, what else are we looking at? So we'll go back to the currencies. Unless you want to see something else that is trading live right now, that's fine. We can do that. I'm just going to keep on marching along. Go to the Canadian. We'll do our little rhythm. But I will stop anybody who wants to see something. Just yell it out, You don't have to raise your hand. Just you can shout it out from the back benches there. And so you can see here the Canadian is, didn't get into the daily buy yesterday, but it's doing its best today. That dollar is strong. In a world starved of yield, in other words, return on money, they're reaching up for this stuff. And you can see that there. Let's put the little daily thing like right there. You see, if it closes up in here like that, it's in a buy, and we'll see how they do there. Let's take a look at the NASCAD, the loonie trade. And then from there, we'll go over to the energy market, unless someone wants to see something else. Look at that. The loonie is feeling a little pressure there. So with the Canadian going up against the dollar and the loonie going down against the dollar, I'd have to assume that oil, and that is moving down. There we go. Let's go. Let's find that. Right there. And let's go find Earl. And there it is there. Oh, yep. And look at that. And then, Robin, I moved over to May natural gas. So we got May natural gas up there today. Because the March is ready to go out the door. All right. And you can see here, we are seeing that pressure. When those pair trades are moving in that direction, usually the oil market and energy market have a natural tendency to follow in the same direction. All right. Oh, look at that. popped up a little bit as we cleaned it up. Notice the red little dot has disappeared now, and it's a green dot, still going down. And the histogram is still plus, but it's it's going down, 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 down. All right, let's head over and save that like so. There we are. And then let's take a look at natural gas right there. See May, and May had an interesting thing. It actually did in the daily buy about 7 days ago. It did go into a buy finally. Just remember that crazy box I had set up from here to there, because it refused to go into a buy, and at the same time we were in a weekly buy, so we were stuck in that, like, don't be long this thing overnight. Just if you're going to trade it, do it fast and wild and woolly during the day. Let me put my glasses on. Who's that? There's David. Hey, David, how you doing? David Del Cid. Ooh, God, that sounds like a Star Wars name. I like that. You don't have like a laser sword with double laser swords or something like that, do you? Hello. What do you think about the pound? We're very positive about the pound. Let's head over to that, and let me just save this. We've been very positive about the pound for months upon months upon months upon months upon months. We just like the pound, and when our math turns anywhere near in that direction, where I'm always usually screaming from the rooftop, "Get long, or you be wrong." That's the way I usually look at it. And so let's take a look at that. The pound now is right here. Let's get that up on there like so. There it is. We have been, as you can see, we've been in a weekly buy for a while. When we go over to our fact check spreadsheet, you can see right there, since October 16th, our weekly trend has been in bullish on it. And that's why that little green line is there. And then on line 13, on the fact check spreadsheet, you see it right there. 19 weeks in a buy, 1 day in a sell. And what happened was that the quant up top in the middle here is following the daily trend, and the quant down below is following a weekly trend. And so what happens is that, see how when this was minus, that's a bearish signal. So let's scroll back just a little bit. So it went into a weekly sell on this week, and we put the line at the end of that week. And you can see it went down, up a little bit, and then down again, and then it went up a little bit, and did its ziggy zaggy stuff, and then the next thing you know, we got into a weekly buy, and then I'll start crowing from the roof about, oh my goodness, maybe this is going to take us to that 138 to 42 area. We've been talking about that for over 2 years now, thinking that that's the place it wants to be, and that's what we've done with this big long run. We got up to it. There's the high there of 142.43. Now, my opinion, David, is that and I say this a lot in the webinars, I am very pro-Commonwealth, okay? And the Commonwealth has over 1.5 billion people in it. And by England being part of the European Union, they blocked them from being able to do a lot of transactions with the Commonwealth. And so now that they've done the Brexit, what we have is the England now is back dealing with the Commonwealth more, which is 1.5 billion more customers, or potential customers, and at the same time, you're talking about Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Belize, Jamaica, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, India. You're talking about a lot of bodies, a lot of people, everybody in the Commonwealth. Now, since they've left Brexit, I've been a very pro. I love England currency, because I really believe that when they got the Brexit done, it would be a great buy. And so to me, I've always thought every time we went into a weekly buy, I always thought, oh, got to get long. And so that's where we really are. I mean, obviously, anytime you get into a weekly buy on anything, you want to be long. But this in particular, we've been thinking before Brexit really kicked out about 5-6 years ago, the currency was trading in the 150s, the low 140s. And there was the anticipation of Brexit. And so when that happened, they drove it down into the 120s. Let's go over to J4X. We'll take a look at a quick look of Cable of Yore. Doing my little Shakespeare thing here. And let's go put that in there. And you can see that let's put it up there. That's GBP against the USD. And then let's put a monthly chart in there, like so. and you'll get a flavor of what I'm talking about. And so I've been a pretty much. I thought there was great potential and still do in the cable. Now they have what I've been saying of late is they have location, location, location. They're out of the European Union. They're back in the saddle again. Back in the saddle again. With the Commonwealth, and the Queen is head of the Commonwealth, so it was a real disaster. Brexit's kind of kicked out around this area there. They started talking about it. I guess it was here. This is where Brexit started to fall apart. They confirmed that they were going to get out of the European Union, and they crushed it all the way down into the 20s. And so I've always figured that they were going to get it to the bottom of that range, and the bottom of that range is really like 142, 144. So I assumed automatically, and then they tried to do it here after thinking that they were out of it, and then it fell down again and so forth, that we would get back to that range, play with those bottoms in there. And so that's why we think what we think, and at the same time using our mathematics, it always gives us a good insight about the direction of something. And so, pretty high accurate direction of something. And so, so I go back to your questions. What do you think about the pound? That's what I think. I think that this particular product is going to be in the 40s and hang out high 30s, mid 40s, and they have location, location, location. So they're near the European Union. Someone's going to want to buy Rolls-Royce engines and whatever else is out there, British Aerospace or whatever. And in the end result is that they will get business from Europe. It's just not as a member of it. And at the same time, now they have all the distant Commonwealth countries that want to do business again with England. And so, now that they're allowed to do business with England now because they're out of the Brexit situation. I hope that makes some sense, and that's how we kind of view the British pound, or what is better known in trader language as the nickname of the cable. All right, which is the Atlantic cable that was dropped between England and the United States. That's why they call it the cable. All right, let's see, where do we go from how? And if you have any more questions, you're welcome to. And that's my opinion, and we back it up with our mathematics. You see this weekly thing here down at the bottom. Gets into a weekly trend. More than likely, it's going to keep on. Each week, it reconfirms if it's still in the weekly trend. And that's how that works. And so, and I'll just show you another little example of it. It was in a weekly trend here, right there. You can see that. Oh, can't see it. See it? You like that? No, see it right here. So here's a good example of our math, in the sense of how to read it. And that is, it goes into the weekly buy here. The week before it was in a sell, and it had been in a weekly buy before that. And then just 1 week it failed and went right back into the buy. And then you can see it went on its little torrid race from the 25s up to basically a high of 30, 35. It's 34.82. We were just rounded out. And so, and then it goes into a sell, and you can see it goes a little sideways here for a couple of weeks. And then it gets back in there, and each week, is reconfirming the math and the direction, and that's how that all works. Ote, as Buckwheat used to say on our gang. Ote. All right, now let's jump over to anywhere anybody would like to go. I think we've just done the two energies, right? So we can take a look at some metals. We can look at ruble. I was really surprised to see that strength kick out of the ruble. I thought we were going to get into a sell here. You can see the weekly trying to roll over. We flipped in and out. A lot of times when you get these flip in and outs, then it finds a way of getting into a trend, like it did here. It goes into a buy, and it was like a sell, then a buy, then a sell, and then it goes into a trend. And it can get, in other words, I guess it's like a hesitation. Money's trying to figure out if it wants to go or come. Sounds like a Jimmy Durante song. Should I go or should I stay? Yes, indeed. And so that's where we are. Now we're going to go take a look at the metals, unless someone wants to see something else. And we'll jump to that. All you have to do is shout it out. Remember, you don't have to raise your hand. You just, easy peasy. So there is gold. Gold. Like Austin Powers says. And you can see, let's give it a refresh. This thing cannot get into a weekly buy. It went into the weekly sell off of this week up here, and then it confirmed it on the close of that week finally right there. We always put the confirm at the end of the week. And then it just went sideways and go down and sideways and down. And when you coordinate, like the red line, it goes into a sell and you're in a weekly sell, you can get short. Okay? And then vice versa. If it goes into a daily buy, you can't get long. You just want to be out of your short. Because we're in a weekly sell. We want these two to coordinate together. In this case here, we are flirting to get into that sell. And if it does do that, let's give it a refresh. Then what happens is that, I guess, now what happened there? We went into a sell 2 days ago. Let me go to the fact check. That's why we have the fact check spreadsheet. We fill in, and then what happens, sometimes at night, the exchanges and the brokerage houses put new data in, and they change numbers on us, but we don't trust those. We don't really like that. And so line 6, yeah, that's where it is. Whoa. It's a 1 right there. That's what that is. Somehow or another I put the 1 over there. There we are. And so we're 7 weeks in a sell and 1 day in a sell. And that's why the red line is in there. But somehow or another, data came in over the last 6 hours, and they pumped it up. And then you can see it's still trying to roll over in value. That's why we don't trust that, and we have the fact check spreadsheet. Sometimes it'll reverse, but we pay attention to it that way. And normally we don't have those problems. It's not like every night that occurs. It just happens once in a while. So that's where we are. We are in a sell in it. It's fighting. And what I've done lately, I've done this. I've put things like little box up and said bad data, because it's irritating that they do that to us. And I'm trying something new today. I've switched not providers, but a new link to the brokerage house to see if we can get it to straighten out. It's a major brokerage house. They just keep on putting data in at night. It's really irritating. But they can't chase our math away. Like I said, it doesn't happen every day, but it's really irritating. Bad data. We've been doing that lately, putting boxes like that in there. And so now these two are above the 0 line, which would normally be a buy, especially with a green dot. But it closed there yesterday, and when we go and look at our, let's see if we can do this, minimize that and go like, where's it at? CCT, Chicago Quants, CQT. It's around here somewhere. There it is. When we look at, no, I guess not that. Let's kill that. What I need to do is, I was going to try to show you what we sent out last night. It was minus. Let's move that up. Let's see if we can see that. This is, let me find the chart from last night, because I haven't changed it. So let's find it. Just an example of, for anybody that's watching that's new to this. This way you have a general idea of what I'm talking about here in a visual way. Let's see, where's gold on this thing? I know I have one of them that's gold. Why can't I can't find it? Let's move this over now. How about someone's doing gold in here? Where is it at? Is it there? Yeah, there it is, right there. And let's put the gold up there. We're going to bring gold down to you for what we sent out last night. Here it comes. As it loads up, or better yet, let's go like that. Let's just open it up as a download. There we go. And now that's trying to tune into that. Wonder if I go like this. See what happens when I do that. Aha, here we go. Okay. And there it is right there from last night. There we go. See that? So that was last night. That's what we sent out. The line was below before they put all that data and so forth. What an irritating thing that is that they do that. Ooh, what do we got here? Well, my son's is texting me. I say, yeah. So cool. There we go. And so that's what happened. And so, and it's reflecting it correctly this morning. You can see it's still breaking down in price. Unfortunately, the amount of data they pumped into this from it last night, I don't know what they're doing anymore. It's irritating. They do it in a couple key products. I hate that. So you know that they're fudging stuff. They are fudging stuff. So our math is picking it up correctly, and then they try to alter it. I hate that. they're putting in those trades because by law they're supposed to put them in during the day live, and they're not. So they're trying to make it look like they readjusted it like at 2 in the morning. It's like the elections. Ugh, irritating. Anyway, that is the cable. That's where we are, and we're in a sell. And now if it tries to go into a buy tonight, then we will flip it back over. But it has to be during the live trading day, not some of their rubbish that they're putting out at night. Now let's take a look at silver. Silver, the supposedly rip your face off silver. They just cannot get this thing to go. Look at that. I mean, it went into the sell here, and in the day they're knocking it down again. How much is it down? You see, it settled at 63, almost 64, right? 27.64. And then it's trading at where today? 27.64. It's 26.78. Okay, so they've knocked it down half a cent. So what a bummer. Where's that rip your face? It's almost down $1 as a full cent. A full cent or a dollar? Dollar. And so, it's like, where's that buying that supposedly is going to come in? I mean, we see it in the copper. Copper's ripping through the roof. Robin's been sending some stuff over to me that shows that there's a massive shortage of physical copper, and obviously copper is important for the electrical devices. You need those armatures, and so what we're seeing here is, and there is copper. It's still holding up. Oh, look at that! It's flirting with it now. Finally, we've been in the buy since here. We've been in the weekly buy since here. It's been a nice, nice move on the upside there. All-time highs are 460 and change. We got up into the 430s. Kind of fascinating there. And who knows what the back months are doing. And I guess what we'll do is we'll probably throw in the next back month over the weekend, and this way we'll be able to go and review what's going on, since March is probably getting ready to go out the door too. As we sip our coffee again. And so that's where we are with the copper, which is, like I said, if you want to do all this electrical stuff that everybody wants everybody to do, you got to have copper. So, and let's put a little red line in there, because this morning, until it closes this evening, it's just flirting with the sell right there. And if we widen that just a little bit, like so, you can see the white is below the 0 line, the green is below the 0 line. You can see right there, plot 1 is minus Z.0045, and plot 4 is minus 0.0067. So there's the pressure on there. All right, now we'll save that one, and we'll do that like so. And again, traders, if you want to see something, just shout it out. Oh, speaking of which, middle age. Let's go check out the. What do you call that? The coffee. And there it is right there. Let's see if see, there you go. So they're trading it now, and you can see right there, they've started off just a little about flat, I guess you can say. Let's give it a refresh. Looks like they popped it up off the first few minutes. Oh, look at that. We're generating a red dot. Seeing a little pressure here, but look at that. The weekly's trying to jump in. So I'm not really sure. This could be like just a little digestion from that nice run that we had on the daily buy. So if you have a long in there, I think you told me you're long, right, middle age? So I think you probably want to take some profits out of it. Dump a third of your whatever, and keep a stop in there and so forth, or at least sell some calls against it. Imagine if you're long like the 4s in the calls, you can go sell turn it into like a binary and sell the top of it, like the 450s or 460s. Yeah. All right. So there is the crude oil there. Not crude oil, the coffee. Crude oil. And look at that. There's the dollar index. Let's give it a refresh. And that is what? Today. Yep, that's today. See, that's what they're doing. They're not filling in. They're giving us yesterday's low and opening. But there is where the last transaction is. See, that's what they're doing at night. They're filling those things in. They're changing those numbers, especially the lows and the closes too. They're doing that, and the highs. They're wrecking both of them. So let's do this. Let's save that too at the same time, right there. Okay. Oh, hey, N. I'm just going to call you N. Oh, is it? Middle Age says, I took some profits yesterday when the KC hit the 140. I would sell some calls on top of it. Turn it into a binary. That might be the way to go, because, look at just a wild speculative opinion. This is an opinion of the math. I'm giving you an opinion about the math. Let me go back to it. Where is it at? That's the only reason I'm thinking you want to stay in the position a little bit longer is this. Now, the last time it did that, it went sideways the next week, and then towards the end of the week, it exploded up again and made new highs again. So if you sell calls against the top, you could. One of the tricks I like to do in a situation like that, what I'll do is I'll turn it into a trapezoid. You know the mathematical structure of a rectangle. So what we do is, like, let's say you're long the 138s. So then what you do is, or 136s, then you go and you sell the 142s or 144s, and you sell the 146s or 7s or 8s or something like that up top of that. So you long one, you sell the next one, and then you can sell another one above that. And then you buy the fourth one up top. So you do 4 options, 4 different strike prices. And that's a lot of fun there. Because if they run it up and it stalls out, at some extreme level, you're fine. If they run through the roof, you're fine. And so the only way you get beat up a little bit is if it goes down, but not like as if you're naked long the call. That's why the binary concept or the spread concept is good. So that's all I'm suggesting is that type of option strategy against something like that with that math, the way the math is acting. Let's see. July 1. I still have the 110-20 calls. Okay. So, yeah, you want to, and what's 140 in the money? Is that what that is? What's the futures contract? You can do that. Yeah, you can do a lopsided butterfly. You can do all kinds of things like that, and then you can, imagine if it takes off, you're still in the saddle, and you try to set it up top. So you put the middle of that trapezoid in the center of it. It reduces your risk enormously. You lock in profits, things like that, Okay, now I see N says, what about ZMH21? Is that what is M? ZMH. Is that meal? Could that be meal? We do meal. We can go do meal. Is that soybean meal? March meal? I think we can put up March meal. Let me just double check what that is. And see what that is. Let me go to another machine. A third machine. Let's see what that is. ZMs. So ZM is... Yeah, it's soybean meal. Okay, let's go over to soybean meal. All right. And so we can do that, and we can close that now. All right. And so what did we do? We did energies, and we did metals. Okay, good. I got that in my head. I just wanted to remember what I saved. And then let's go look at meal. Now, Robin and I put something in the bar charts yesterday. Oh, you mean 30-year bond? Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can go to the 30-year bond. 30-year bond. We already looked at that, so that's cool. So we can... I like looking at things a second time. So in other words, we looked at it earlier, and I'm always happy to go back to it again. You never know what you're going to see. You just don't know. Because you have to remember, we're proactive around here. We're not reactive. No one's knocking on my door right now going, hi, I'd like to buy some British pounds. Where'd you come from? Oh, I'd like to buy some British pounds. I understand you're selling them here right now. No one's doing that. Those days are gone where we are reactive traders. We're all proactive. Now, here's the 30-year. And that's what I was saying, is that our work is still screaming at us about... Where's that at? Right there. Let's move that over again, like so. Yeah, see, they changed the dot on me and the whole bit. But our work is telling us we have our line in there. This is going down. Now, they're trying to lift it today. We'll see. When this refreshes, and towards the end of the day, if they can turn that into a green dot, we will turn it into a buy. We'll put a green line in there. Our weekly, which I don't know why is not filling in, is in a sell from here on the weekly. This is moving live, so that's okay. And if this could get plus, maybe. Now, I guess, N, did you hear about the 7-year auction yesterday? We were talking about that when we looked at it before. No, don't be sorry. We call this the electronic trading pit. So it's like traders go in and out, and they ask questions, and someone says, hey, we were talking about that 20 minutes ago. It's like, well, I want to talk about it again. So that's all right. Don't worry about that. No sorry necessary. Yesterday, the 7-year bond auction did really poorly, and that's what put the chill into everything. So probably somebody on vacation as far as I'm concerned, because how do they do a bond auction and not have a good tail? Now, I don't know if everybody understands what a tail is, but what they do is they measure the tail of the auction. And what the tail is they look at the amount of bids and how oversubscribed it was. I don't know why I'm losing my voice here. Let me take a drink of water. Drinking the coffee is obviously not a good thing. So it was undersubscribed. Everybody was looking, hey, MHB, howdy, welcome to the hood. So what it did is it put enormous chill into the bond market and threw a big chill into the stock market. The bond vigilantes kicked out, And so that's what's going on there. And as you can see also, here's the 10-year, which is obviously the more liquid active product. But people are watching both at this point. They're checking it all out. Let's give this a refresh. There's the 10-year. I'm not sure what the heck that is, but I'm not paying attention to it. We went into the sell here, and it was a minus before, or we would have had a green line in there, and then someone came and put data in there and changed it. Same thing on that same day with the 30-year too. But you can see at least the 10-year is holding down. Now, they're firmer today. You can see that. Both of them are firmer. That's the 10-year. And here is the 30-year again that you were asking about. So in this case here, the thing is they put so much data into the 30-year because it's thinner that it's driven my histograms plus. But I'm going to need a green dot and a buy, an actual clean buy signal during the trading day to get that thing into the plus. So GBPAUD. So let's check that out. But N, if you see anything you want to look at, just scream it out. It's okay. I don't care if we looked at it before. We can look at it again as far as I'm concerned, because I love the market. All right, so now we're going to go check out go back to the currencies and check out British pound against the Aussie. Let's see, where are you? There's British pound against the yen. And let's see if we can find the Aussie. I know we have that in there somewhere. I guess we must have changed it. All right, so we're going to have a little fun. I like that. Little live show and tell. Let's do it in that one. Let's do it in the Swiss. All right, now we'll go like that. And go here. And there it is there, the Aussie. And then we'll do the same thing here. Put the Aussie in for the weekly. There we are. All right. So you can see here it was in a sell till there. Right there. We can move that buy out of the way. We move that other sell out of the way. And then it went into a buy right there. And then we can cancel out these two babies. We don't need them right now. Remove and remove. And so that's that. Now let's see where the dailies were. There's the daily buy there. Is that a sell? Nope, that's not a sell. So move that over a little bit. Where's the sell? Right there, maybe? Yep, that is a sell. The next day, it jumped into a buy again. Let's grab them from way back here. And the next day, what did it do? Jump into buy. And then the next day again, went into a sell. Now remember, traders, you can't take the is that right there? Yeah, there is. You can't take the short, but you only can take the long. So you bought it, made a new high the next day, and then fell apart. So usually we consider that a win, but we can say that's a loss. That's no problem because we have so many wins around here that it's like here. You can see it went into a daily buy, went into the weekly buy, and it was a demonstrative move on the upside. And then let's take this one, grab this, and move it over. Not yet. Not yet. Right there. I think that's the buy. And did they do the sell again? Yeah, they did. They pushed it into the sell right afterwards again. Another herky-jerky move. And then you can't take the short again because why traders? We're in a weekly buy. But we can only take the longs. So then there's your winner, winner, chicken dinner again. And then you get your sell right here. Grab that, move that over. See? Below the zero line here on the daily. And then, what's it? Ooh, let's grab that and move it over. There's your buy again. And you only can take the long, and then obviously there it is. So that's that. We're in a weekly buy. It looks pretty healthy. You can see the, let's widen the time manifolds. So we have the plus and minus time manifolds. That's what those lines are. And you can see, we're through the zero line. The white line is through the zero line. Histogram is. You can see we run up through this, which is usually a bullish sign. Obviously it was. You can see the strength that kicks in from it. And then it tries to come down and kiss the time manifold, but it doesn't do too good a job. You can see the weakness from it in the daily. So there you go. There is GBP AUD MHB. How's that? Cool? Cool or cool? NQs. Yeah, we can go. Sound goes down. Can you hear me now? Is that any better? So, right now, as long as we're in a weekly buy, it's push up, and a daily buy, it's trying to go up in value. With the way the central banks are fooling around with the interest rates and dealing with the tails of the auctions and so forth, it's going to be a little dicey, traders. Now let's see. N says, I'm using your first letter. I like to make things simple. Oh, okay, good. And then so you can see, let's go into NQs and look at them. Right there. We can take a look at the stock indices at the same time. So there's the NQs. Last night, I think we put a red line in here, and this was minus. And now they've brought in more trades, but we're just put the line in there instead. So we're seeing the pressure here. You can see the weekly's trying to go into a weekly sell. So as far as we're concerned, over in the NASDAQ 100, there's pressure on it enormously. And so we're going to go like that, and then we're going to save that. Let me do this. Let's move this off the screen, too, at the same time. And put that in there. And so there's the NASDAQ. Now let me show you the S&P 500 since we looked at the stock indice. You can see this thing is flirting with it today. It stayed in the buy last night. As much as they knocked it down, it still stayed in the buy. But you can see, let me just refresh that again. But you can see here, the weekly now is flirting with the weekly sell. So where's that at? No, we want this. So you can see there that the pressure is on. They're trying to put these stock indices into the downside. And so that's what's going on there. And it looks like we're trying to generate a sell right there too at the same time. So we'll put our little red line up top here, reminding everybody that we are seeing pressure and we are below the sell at the moment. And so let's save that one. And there we go. I thought I moved this up. Say no and just move it up again. There we are. Say yes. Now, let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now that closed in a daily sell yesterday, right there, and you can see the pressure is on it. It has been having a hard time getting into a sell out of this whole week. It's up for the week. I think it's up for the week. Last I looked, it was up for the week. Let me just double check. It may be down just a little bit for the week. So, I mean, all this selling's going on in the S&Ps and the NASDAQ, and the divisor-based index is not going down. So there is Friday. So Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at 3,140. Was it 31,498? Let's say 31,500. And right now it's trading at 30. It closed last night at 31,400. So it's off 100 points. That's all it is. That's like nothing. Compared to the other two stock indices. Oh, let's save this too at the same time. But you can see the weekly. The weekly's not even flirting with the sell, which is curious. Look at that. It's still holding up. So the stock index, the devised index, is not really feeling that much action to it, which is curious in its own right. And so probably the S&P is getting knocked down more because of the NASDAQ stocks in it. I would assume that's what we're really seeing. And I thought I keep on putting that thing up top, and it keeps on coming back down. Okay, so there it is right there. And you can see we are flirting. Oh, yeah. So it didn't. What is this? Oh, no. What did I do? Where did I just save? Yeah, that's right. So why is a red line there? I guess maybe last night it was a red. That's what it was. Okay, so we're going to just leave it like that. And so it is pushing its way into the sell today, because it did close into the sell last night, and then they put data in there like everything else, and they adjusted it. See these black pools, which are illegal, but the Securities Exchange Commission and the CFTC allow them to happen. And what they do is they transact off the exchange floor. They don't report the trade. And then what happens is that they put the data in like 2 or 3 in the morning. They don't want people to know they made a transaction. Which is illegal because you're not allowed to do that. Any public company, once it's traded during the day, it has to be disseminated live that moment. And so if they're doing things in black pools nowadays, which they are, and they're hiding the trades, they're doing it so that other people don't know that they're selling or buying. And since the volume is down so dramatically since 2008, they let them do almost anything they want. High-frequency trading and black pools, and they do all these other things. And our math picks up on it, and we can see the distortion of what they're doing. And so at times this happens. Especially on a very active day, they like to hide what they've been doing. During normal lower active days, you don't see the distortion, you don't see the change. It rarely occurs. But anytime there's wild and woolly action, they're out there playing and hiding trades. And then sometimes we don't see it for a couple of days, and then they put it in. It's like, wow, what criminality that is. But anyway, that's what they're doing. All right, so we saved that. And then we could take a quick look at the Russell. You can see here the Russell's going into a sell there yesterday. And you can see now it's flirting with the weekly. So the Dow is not, but all other 3 indices are. They're flirting with their weekly sells. And you can see that pressure that's on them. All right. And so there's the indices. Who asked for the indices? That was N. Hey, N. So there you go with the NQs. And I showed you the other 2 indices or other 3 indices. So the pressure is on these products at the moment. We'll see what they do today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average only has to be up 100 points for the day to get it plus for the week, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's 10 points in the future. I mean, when you go back and look at the S&P, the S&P is, let's see, where did it close? That's Friday, right? So the S&P closed at 3,902. Almost 3, right? And now it's trading at 3,822. So that's 78 points, whereas the Dow just has to go 10 points to get plus for the week. So this is like, 7 times worse. And then take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is really taking it on the chin. The NASDAQ last Friday closed at 13,576. Right now we're trading at 12,833. What's that number? 576? So that's 576 points, and throw in another 160 points. You're talking 700 points. And the Dow just has to go 10 points to be plus for the week. So that's like, wow, All right, traders. Did we have enough fun today? Did we look at everything everybody wants to see? And remember, it's TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. And I guess we're going to call it a day. We will catch all of you tomorrow or Monday on TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. And so I guess what we'll do is we'll send it. And I don't even. What should we label this as a title? Anybody have a label? How about if we do the GBP, AUD, and NQs? How's that sound? I think that'd be a good title today. So, we were able to show you how our math is interpreted, understood, signal-wise. And so that was that. So that's what I think we'll use this as a title today. We'll use GBP, AUD. Let's go back there, like so. And NQs. There we go. And for those on Dukascopy, that is the Tech 100. That's what Dukascopy calls it, the Tech 100. All right, guys. Hey, ¿qué pasa, Menden? Oscar, how you been? We're getting ready to go out the door. Doc, let's keep sell off. What do you mean? Like keep on selling off so you can buy cheaper, right? Buy low, sell high. U.S. dollar recovered as expected by end of the month. Yeah, I'll tell you, they're reaching for it. Those interest rates are rising. So I hear you. No, I totally agree with you. It's, and I don't know how long they're going to be selling the stocks off. The central banks don't want those stocks to go down too far. So don't be, they're going to, we got a shot at weekly sells. Let's see what that does. See if they, Oh, thank you very much, Ed. Welcome to our cyber trading pit. Come back to the neighborhood. Come back to the hood. All right. Happy trails to you until we meet again. That'll be Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our cyber trading friends. Ta-ta for now. Everybody have a safe and a smart weekend.